2024 was a decent year for gaming. Not quite as big as 2023, but it's not as most years aren't going to be. Nobody expected it to be. I think I already did my top 10 list for that. There, there, and I did my ones for things I'm looking forward to for next year, which will hopefully be just as great, or well, better. I think it could be, but this is not a time for looking forward, and it's also not a time for 2024 high cat or 2024 anymore. That's done. This is a time to go really back to all the stuff that I played last year for the first time ever, but that did not come out last year. For anything from 2023 back to the dawn of gaming, of games that would be older than me. As long as I played it significantly for the first time last year, it counts. And it didn't come out last year. That's all that matters. There will be some things that might be harder to decide this because, some games I played a bit back in the day. Some games I played a chunk of them. It's all going to be a judgment call decided by me. I played Daxter and here last year, loved the absolute hell of one, most addicting as I ever played in terms of just for one playthrough. But I played it on the PSP when I was a kid. I don't remember how much of it, so I couldn't do it. But I'll give that an honourable mention. But with that out of the way, here is a working title. I still want to find a better way to phrase. Here are my top 10 games of 2024 that did not come out in 2024. Number 10. Santa Claus Saves the Earth. Now, to answer your first question, no, I'm not kidding. I understand the instant assumption. This is a game I was going to play on. Well, actually, I don't think I was going to, but I considered it when I was for a fun Christmas thing in 2023. But I was looking for Christmas games, and I thought this is probably the most famous, known, obvious one. But I was in a different phase back then. I wasn't in my let's play some garbage and kind of enjoy it phase. I dreaded playing this for days. Like, I want to do a fun Christmas thing, but I don't want to do this. Sorry, my TV was still on. And I put it off for probably about 2 weeks because I knew the reputation. I remember how it looked, how it sounded to play, everything awful. And I thought this would be a one-time thing. I mean, look at it. Played it for like 10 minutes. I honestly had a headache. And after I think an hour more, I had barely beaten no, I beat 2 levels. And I thought that'd be it. But for some reason, I wanted to push on. Am I ever going to say this game gets good? God, no. I haven't finished it yet at this point. I probably will by the time I finish putting this out, but I'm at 2/3 of the way through the game at the moment. Just 15 levels. 3 of those are bosses. I'm assuming level 5 and level 10 have been bosses, so I'm assuming 15 will end with a boss. So what's wrong with this game? Because how else would you start off with this your top 10? Controls. Ass. You move in a very slow, awkward way. You fight some enemies on the way by You have wonderful weapons such as a tomato gun. You throw snowballs. Ooh, slow. Delay. Throw. They're the stronger weapons. You have your wonderful sack, which you swing, and as you swing, you move backwards, which is the most tedious, awful thing in the world, and you never want to be stuck with this. And I'm not kidding here. At one point, you pick up these grey balls, and what would you think? Iron, probably like some kind of iron snowball. You're just going to throw it, but it's going to be better, right? No, it's a fucking bazooka. Santa has he's like, yeah, I'm going to throw this thing. Nope, Santa has a fucking bazooka on his shoulder. It's genuinely magical. Like, if that's not the spirit of Christmas right there, I don't know what is. Graphically, it looks ugly. Santa looks stupid. He looks weird. The backgrounds are genuinely headache inducing. Like I said, 10 or 15 minutes in, my head hurt. It never looks good. Well, sometimes it looks okay. Sometimes it actually does look nice. And sometimes the music is even a bit nice, but in general, pounding into your fucking skull. This is a weird way to start this, isn't it? But for some reason, something about the levels and the awful way they can be laid out, it gets to like a slow paced, weirdly meticulous way of planning out that I kind of appreciate. I think I appreciate this in the same way I kind of like the Planet of the Apes on the Game Boy Color. There's a comparison. Where at the start I did not love it. Going for all the collectibles, it was fine at best, and even that was being generous. But at some point you kind of got into the flow. You'll drop down, find this enemy with a gun. Oh, you have to wait for him to walk over here, sneak up behind him, stab, stab, stab. Wait for the other enemy with the knife, jump down, pop, 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 and you're gone. And you have to kind of plan things out like that in a slow, steady way. That's kind of similar to this. Not to the same extent, but it's similar. And there are some levels where I genuinely do love the layout. Kind of because it just loops around so perfectly. The shortcut, like, where you have to start off the right and then you loop around to the bottom, then you loop to the left. And it only happened once, but I think it was like level 9 and 10. No, 8 and 9, maybe 7 and 8, whatever. Genuinely kind of liked. Really not much to say. You just go from left to right, killing enemies, collecting keys, and then you find the right door and finish the level. Dying is irrelevant in this game because if you die, you might as well just quit and go back in. Because the only difference is either way, you go back to the start of the level. But if you quit and go back in, you keep your resources. If you don't, you lose everything and have to go back to your sack. No thanks. I have a mini conspiracy with this game though. That for some reason I like. I guess I'm stupid. I don't know. But for some reason I appreciate this game. But I do have a little conspiracy about it. I don't think this is a badly made mess. It's awful. Like I'm not here to defend this. I'm not here to say it's good. It sucks. I just like it for some reason because there's something wrong. I don't know, something weird here. I think this is not a badly made game in like, oh, incompetent dumbasses making it. I think this was all fucking intentional. Some of the things in this game are so unbelievably precise, so specifically designed to piss you off, that I genuinely find it harder to believe it was a mistake. In the first level, you like right to the start of where you're not supposed to go there to start, but right from where you start, you can go there. You can fall in, and the platform you can jump like this high, and the platforms are here, and you just barely don't reach. But there's also a platform move. You make a platform move around at some point, and it just loops around like this. If you fall in, I swear the platform is like here on the level. You get to like here. I think it's like 3 pixels away from being able to get up there. But no, you're stuck in the spikes getting hurt. That is deviously precise. If it's not an accident, that's crazier. Second example, because the first one, first one's a fluke, whatever. Where you start to really kind of pick up on it more, there's this thing at power that makes you jump. It'll be like on the far left of a level. And the first of the bazooka balls you find are like under a drop where you can't jump out of. This time it's like the platform's up here and you can jump like here. But you get the super jump. Obvious idea, right? No. As far as I can tell, you can't move faster in this game. You move right, consistent speed, the second you hit the ground. I'm not again here. I felt like the frame that you hit the ground, your power up runs out. That is some specific fucking design right there. Again, it's hard to believe it was that precise on accident. I think it's harder to fucking accept. The third one though, in a level with a kind of a leap of faith, well, more like a drop of faith, because you're looking around at the top and you find nothing, but then eventually you probably fall or jump down, and it's like, oh, it's just land under you. And then eventually you go to the far right. It's like, oh, there's a platform here. You jump left, platform here. So I think, okay, I got the stuff up here. I'll jump off. If you keep jumping to the left, which is the direction you're probably going in, you land on more spikes, and you can fall into spikes here, spikes here. If you fall into the spikes here, to the left, well, you jump up, you do a flip, hit the spikes again, fall back down. To the right, the platform is like this much higher, so you can't fucking reach. This much higher. There, and on the right side, well, flipped, whatever. On this side, there's a tiny, tiny speck of space where you don't get hit. But it's on the side where you can't reach. And if you try to jump back to the other side, you get like this close. And I don't know if you can get up the side anyway without keep hitting the spikes. That, you cannot tell me that was fucking by mistake. Hopefully the thing here will capture it better, but I refuse to believe that was an accident. 3 times in 10 levels, and that's that I noticed. Out of the one level you start like at the top left, loop all the way around, get all the stuff, and it loops in a circle. But like the thing you have to the door here, the key to open the door here, but you have to go back around. You've probably killed all the enemies, so it's just a waste of time. There were times where I joked about being like, oh, it's intentionally made to be an asshole. I was like, that's why they did this and made you do it. No. Then I was like, I should stop making jokes because it might be true. But yeah, this has been already 10 minutes, so I don't want this to be a 2 hour one. The actual top 10 to 24 was bad enough, but yeah, I just had a lot to say about this, mainly because of the asshole developer stuff. Respectfully, lovingly. But yeah, this absolute notorious piece of shit, probably the most infamous Christmas game ever. If you ever look up Christmas games, this is going to come up fast, and most people have this is the one they know. Again, not here to defend it, not here to say it's a good game, not even going to say it's not a piece of shit. I just appreciate it for some fucking reason. Number 9. Puzzles and Survivors. I feel weird putting this on the list. I always feel like Santa Claus one should have been above it, but Puzzles and Survivors is a game I played back in February because somebody was doing a sponsorship stream. Asked I was there to help out a bit. I was actually on holiday at the time. I was in Germany at the time. But I started it, had a little go, and for some reason or another, I don't usually get into mobile games in general. Plants vs. Zombies is the only other one I play. But this one has kept me invested. What is it? It's a mix between the match 3 games. You get 3 reds, you hurt the enemy a bit. And you have like 5 characters that you choose from a large list, which of course you can spend money on or get in game. They have super special powers. You can do, press this, it'll damage the entire team. This will give you a shield, that stuff. And in the outside is a city manager kind of game. You'll upgrade stuff, get new stuff, get better resources, upgrade them, to get more better resources, to get more stuff, more power ups, more types of stuff you can do. And that's the loop. And then every once in a while, when you do more of that stuff and you upgrade your headquarters enough, you can do another chapter of the mission. And of course, all outside of the city building, you kind of have enemy, like your whole territory. You'll expand it, gather resources, send your troops to kill enemies. But like I said, that's the loop. Match 3, resources stuff. Match 3, city building stuff. I don't know why. Again, I never get into these kind of games. But this one, for some reason, has kept me coming out almost every day since February. What is it now? Nearly the end of June. It's almost the year anniversary when I first played this. It really has that feel. Like, when you're not close to anything, it can. Because, as you expect, the longer you go on, the bigger the gap is. You'll beat chapter 1, no problem. Chapter 2, whatever. Chapter 3, this one may give you a bit of trouble, but cool. Chapter 10, it takes me a day to get from this one to this one, but you can level stuff up in between. Then it'll take 2 days, then it'll take a week, then you'll be there for a month without doing anything significant. But when you are close, it really has a drive. Because you feel like, there's 5 enemies, and 3 rounds, I got to the last round, the enemies had this much health, I was so close. And that'll push you to come back every time you can and just do a slight upgrade, try again, get your ass barely less kicked. But that is the fun. Not only do I come back to this nearly every day, like I've had dips, but consistently I've come back to this every time. I'll turn on like a few times a day, do my little things, collect the daily resource stuff, do the daily quests. But this has really stuck with me. Again, I can't think of most games that I play every fucking day. Even if it's a day where I don't play it much at all, or don't care to do it, I'll still turn it on, collect the daily stuff, do a quick few of the daily missions that are quick and easy. I just really like it. It's one of the only mobile games that ever kept me come back this long. And yes, it has its predatory side, you know how it is. Every time you turn the game on, it asks you if you want to pay money to buy this pack. They do the wish bullshit, this pen used to be €200, now it's 9 cents. Oh, give me 50 of them. That budget. It was never that much. Get out of here. But yeah, it's going to be a nightmare to record, because I think the way I'm going to have to do is just be like, yep, that's the game. That's going to be fun. It's just really fun free to play game, and yeah, last time I'm going to say it, usually don't keep me interested this long. Every day. Number 8. Prince of Persia on the Super Nintendo. It's a remaster of the very original Prince of Persia, from like 1987. But I don't know how much is different. I just know it looks a bit better. Okay, it looks it looks a lot better. The only reason I didn't play the actual original, I did it for on here. Only reason I didn't go to the original is because I couldn't find an easy, convenient way to do the Apple Arcade, and I didn't know about saving and stuff like that because it's a password. I just didn't want to. I didn't know how to figure it out. I'm not good with this stuff, and this was just easier. Basically, you have 2 hours, I think it is, in game to get from level 1 to like level 20. You have passwords in between. Thank fuck. It is another like Santa Claus Saves the Earth. There's a comparison nobody's ever fucking made. It's a very slow paced game. This is not like modern Prince of Persia where it's like dashing Metroidvania super jumps shit. You're not gonna come into an enemy like slash or shit through them, no. Slow, very, very step by step kind of game. You do awkward, clunky platforming, awkward, clunky enemy fights, fun little puzzles, and make it through, like I said, 20, generally like split into sections kind of levels. You know, level 1, 2, and 3 will be in a grey dungeon, 4, 5, and 6 will be in a orange dungeon. Slight exaggeration. Some will be in a hell, a furnace of some sort. I'm just going to call it hell. And that is what you're going to feel like you're in throughout the majority of this game. Because it is fucking hard. I am so thankful I only played this on Saturdays because holy fuck. The idea of having to. Because back when I was doing this, it was like a Monday, Wednesday, Friday thing I was doing. Instead of just Monday and Friday. The idea of playing this evil little game 3 times a week and having to progress haunts me. I remember even like level 3, like the platform in this game, awkward as fuck. You can't just go like jump, jump. You're not going to jump, land, jump. No. You're going to jump, run a few steps, slowly jump. This kind of game, like if you press jump, like if you're here and there's the edge of and here, and this is a platform here to here. Oh, sorry. From here to here. It's hard to do that because you might jump and you just go whoop. Okay, I'm gonna move forward then. Whoop, because like that's like you will walk the entire length of some small platforms with one step. I think it was like level 16. I found out you could actually do smaller steps too. I don't remember exactly what it was because I remember my way of getting it from here to here if I wanted to do a small step was to crouch, because you move a tiny bit forward every time. I think it was like if you hold down A, you can do a small stealthy step. That was a late revelation. But in all of this painful, sadistic difficulty, the drive to continue on, the addiction of this game. I understand how it started a franchise. I understand why it got remastered from the Apple Arcade. I understand why this started probably one of the most well-known franchises ever from for a long time. A game that's still going. A franchise is still going at least. I want to remake this again, remaster, just port it. I don't care. I want to play this again. I'd do it. It was a painful, awful experience at times, but the satisfaction when you beat a single level. I'm not kidding when I say some of these levels would take me hours. And even in the first go, I didn't get through this first level. It was a learning curve. And again, it can be clunky as shit too. Because I swear, sometimes I'll be there. I don't even think it's clunky. I think it's just weirdly done. Because let's say your run is like this. This like, oh, your run goes from here to here. You can jump here, 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 not here, but here, here, here. If you press A just the wrong split second, no, you're running off a cliff. In fact, I think there was one leap of faith where you had to jump off a wild random cliff. Sometimes I got incredibly lucky to find anything. Like sometimes I think I just happened to either jump in the right place or have this one random idea that just barely functioned. I'm not sure if I was just lucky as shit or if it was like some of the most perfect game design ever to lead you to that conclusion without making you feel like you were guided there, but without making it feel like you trial and error the entire thing, which sometimes you will have to, especially beats the game in 2 hours. But thankfully, you know, oh, I will say that as well. I had to run through huge sections of this game multiple times because I get like level 7 with 2 minutes left. I was like, oh, well, that's not going to work out. Back to the start, off screen, of course. So when I did it again next time, I could be starting at level 7 with 70 minutes. But yeah, this game is an ass. This game is a pure sadist. But if you're into that kind of stuff, you're going to have fun here. If you like this old school clunk. The only huge problem I have in terms of like actual flaws, not just I'm pissed off and dying for 4 hours. The last section of the game, you fight a boss, and I swear, they put like 7 corridors of nothing in between. So, oh, I died. Back to there. Run, 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 run. Run, 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 run. Look, losing a boss fight, fine. Losing a boss fight, you die in 4 hits, fine. Putting 7 empty corridors and like a 30-second unskippable cutscene. Apparently, unskippable cutscenes, you know, those things that were a thing in 1987. To piss off the 2024 had so many of them. That was unbelievably frustrating. It was also frustrating when to start fights in this game, you don't scope with your sword. No, because you have a running section and a fight mode. To get into fight mode, you have to press A around an enemy. So if you're just running and an enemy comes up, oh, stab, dead. Because when you're in running mode, oh, one hit kill. If you ever played the game Karateka, you know how it is. But yeah, I can't even say that good of an experience, but wow, what a satisfying time when you did finally push through. Probably more than any I've ever played. Probably better than most games I've ever played in terms of that. The 2 hour time limit will probably make you run through this game multiple times, but I have a funny feeling that was almost the intention. Highly recommend if you're in for a very frustrating mess of an experience, but ultimately somehow rewarding. Number 7. Police Simulator. A game became free on PlayStation Plus whenever last year, and God, it sucked me in. Very addicting loop of, well, you start off as a police officer, and all you can do like in area 1 is I think give people tickets, and might be one or yeah, I think it's basically just giving people tickets. As you play, you will get points as long as you don't do anything bad, which will lose you points. So you can't be dirty here, which kind of sucks. It'd be cool if you could actually be more dirty. That's what you need, a dirty cop simulator. But as you move on, you get more stuff. You know, you can put on, you can stop people when they have an accident, interview witnesses for that. Oh, check all the stuff, photograph the evidence, everything around. Checking their cars for stuff, searching their bodies, and even more stuff like stopping drug deals, finding a wanted person with a vague description, chasing people down. That's the basic loop. Play a game, get points, do your shift, which could be anywhere from like 50 minutes to 90. And then as you unlock, get more points, you get more stuff to do, more types of crimes, more tools to deal with it. It's a very addicting loop, and I think I put like 50 hours into this because the only big problem it has, I think, like most simulators, it's one of those things where when you start off, the limits seem endless, the potential seems immense. But as you go on, you very, 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 very quickly to start to kind of notice the limitations. Yeah, you go up and you can interview people about the crime and take photographs and search. That's really cool. Eventually, you realize it just comes down to X, 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 done, done, done. Okay, interview, done with the interview. Okay, that person said this thing, the correlate said this thing, it will tell you on the menu. Give them this ticket for this thing. And you like quick, things are all the same. That's the biggest thing. It's very, very samey. I think they could add a huge amount of variety to this just by having a few little changes. Like, what if instead of people just, oh, somebody stole a wallet, or no, like somebody's doing graffiti. What if you had, instead of just, oh, you walk up and they run away, or you talk to them and they just run off? What if you had a chance, oh, you sneak up on them, you can just take them in. Good, you caught them. They don't have to do the chase. This time you snuck up and you can just talk to them. Sometimes they just randomly spray you in the face and try to run. Sometimes they just run in general. Just, I feel like it should be, not only should there be a bunch of different kind of things you can do, everything you can do should have multiple outcomes. I think that would have hugely increased the play value of this game and the variety. That's definitely the biggest thing this game has against it, I'd say. It's just every time you do a character, you're going to realize it's going to be exactly the same as every other time you do it. And if they could fix that the tiniest bit, I genuinely think this would be like a much higher ranking game. But for the first tens of hours, which is a decent time to get into a game out of a simulator as well, it really did make me understand the love for these kind of games. It's not something I played much of, but this one really did open my eyes to the world of simulation games. I remember even while playing, it's like, wow, it'd be cool to play like a paramedic one. Guess what the next game is? Can't wait for it. Hopefully a bit more variety to it. Hopefully a bit more variety in every type of mission. That's all this needs, I think. And maybe a bit less restrictions on what you can do with stuff. Let me be a bit dirty. Let me get away with it. Dub's like, no, you did the wrong thing. You lose points. Boom. I don't. I want a real experience. I don't want to be punished for being awful. Try to just make it more realistic. But yeah, really fun game for like 20, 30 hours. Probably I'd say I had with it. Got the platinum trophy, so must have been a lot of fun. Definitely one of my favorite experiences from the start of the year, especially before you realize some of the limitations. Also, in the best possible way, glitchy fucking mess. This game, the amount of glitches that happened. We have see people driving in a car and you see him floating out of it. You walk along, oh, this guy I'm supposed to interview, he's just floating. Sometimes they're annoying, like, oh, this person I'm supposed to talk to. Well, they've kind of sunk into this brick wall. Guess I'm fucked. One where I swear, there was just this black car. I was there interviewing someone for somebody else, and I just looked into the corner, and there was a car, just like on its corner, and then out of whoop, gone. Made me die laughing. I hope I still have it. I surely do. One of the best moments of the year. So, can't wait for Paramedic Simulator. Definitely going to be like possibly a day one purchase. I'll actually buy it instead of getting it free.
Police Simulator. Patrol officers, take up the badge.
Number 6. System Shock Remake. Releasing in 2022, I think, maybe 23. Full-on modern remake of a very, very old-style retro shooter, System Shock, which I think was like 1987. I don't know how well-known this game is, how big it is, how popular it is, like how mainstream. But I do know this thing, Shodan, like most people who didn't play the game, that is the one thing they know about it. It's just that basically you're in the Citadel, a big, huge 15, I think, floor space station. Well, like 15 sections. I played this for, I think, somewhere in the middle of October, because we'll have a bunch of Halloween things to stream. This is going to be game 1. Well, after taking 8 hours to get out of the first floor, I think it was, I very quickly got shown that was not going to happen. This game took me about 2 months to finish, I think. Well, month and a half, we'll say. It is long. It is hard. Every floor of this game, barely exaggerating when I say it could nearly fit a whole game from that era. One floor of this game it took me, I think, like I said, 8 hours. I think that whole floor could have been a game. A small game, but in 1997, why not? Or no, 87, I think. It was 87? I don't know. Very old. I think it was like 30 years old, though. 1994. Again, yeah. You go in from floor to floor, killing enemies, solving puzzles, collecting resources, scrapping them sometimes. A huge variety of guns, which it has a kind of Resident Evil 4 style inventory, and it is stressful as hell. I don't know how to decide which guns to pick. I kept my shocking one because you could constantly kind of refill the ammo that with power station throughout the ship, so it seemed like a no-brainer. You have everything from pistols, shotguns, machine guns, assault rifles, a whip. I never use it. I think it can be really good, but I didn't use it much. But it's just a huge fun variety of weapons, everything from normal to more sci-fi ones, with electrical pulse rifle stuff. There's also some really fun puzzles in this game. One is kind of like you'd have four plugs, and you have to decide which place to plug them into, and then which splitters to use. I like the concept of these, but I think they sucked. Because I swear, like, plug A, plug B. Well, plug A went into slot A and plug B went into slot B because you have to get to the right power. And it would go up like halfway. Like, okay, plug A into slot B, plug B into slot A. Oh, it worked. Conceptually, this is fine, and maybe if you're playing on PC or something, it'd be easier because you like click, click. At least on PS5, I had to use the analog stick to go, okay, take this power plug, put it into the other one, take this. And again, when you have like 4 of these or 8 of these things, much more tedious. Like I said 2, I don't know if there was one or 2. I think 4 was the usual. It was fucking annoying because I never felt like, do I just have them in the wrong place again? Oh, also, sometimes it'd be like 4 plugs with 8 slots. Do I have them in the wrong ones? Or do I just have A into the wrong one that B should be in? Is it the wrong slot filled or the wrong connection from A to B? And that really annoyed me. The other ones, though, ton of fun. Kind of like Bioshock pipe puzzle kind of stuff. You know, you have to just put them in the right way to get the power from A to all the way around to B. Basic Bioshock pipe puzzle stuff, a bit different, but you get the idea with it. These were a ton of fun. Every time I found one of these, one, it wasn't the other one, so that was happy enough. But I really loved these. There was a bunch of them towards the end, and you think you get sick of them after like 10 of them in a row, but no. I was like, oh yes, another one. Fuck yeah. I love these things. Genuinely adore. Never got sick of them. I'd say the only big problem I had with this game was it's like Bioshock. That's not the complaint. And I suck at these kind of games. I don't know what it is, but it instantly gave me Bioshock vibes, and they're both games I'm garbage at. Like I'm trash at these. I think if I had a death count at the end of this game, genuinely, it could have reached like 300, which might sound insane. But yeah, probably would have reached it. Because usually when you die in this game, you get sent back to what's it, a reanimation pod kind of thing. Everything is the same. Like if an enemy takes 5 hits with a pistol and you give him 3, you come back, shoot him twice, dead. The other thing is you come back with half health, and like I said, everything is the same. Your resources you use are gone, bullets, that kind of stuff. But otherwise, it's like you ran back with half health. There is a medical pod on floor 1, which is oh my god, going back there every time I want to heal. It's why I went through half this game with half health. But the only big complaint about that, there are a few occasions throughout this game where, like boss fights, for example, with no warning. If you die here, you don't get sent back to the pod. Game over. So if you didn't save in an hour because, you're always sent back to the place anyway, but fuck you, you're dead. No warning. And it's fine. If it was just the bosses, it'd probably be a one-time thing because you realize, oh, there's a boss fight there, let's go back and save. But no, it's just no warning. There's one where you press I won't spoil actually, because it's funny. At least the first time I had it was a funny thing, but at some point, like, what was it? There's like 3 places you have to go to in one floor. They're all separate sections. One of them is poisoned. So if you go here without expectations, you might just die. Well, shit, fuck you. That counts as a death. An official death, not just back to the pod, game over. You'd never expect it to be an official death. So unless you're going through this game safe coming kind of like that anyway. Oh, it's one thing if you just didn't. And you know what? It's so infrequent, which is a weird thing to complain about. But it's so infrequent that you wouldn't expect it any time. Which fucking annoying. Other than that though, I see why it's a huge big game. It's like the final area in this game. It can be a difficult, really frustrating experience, but it is a ton of fun too. The second last section of this game took me 3 hours, not even exaggerating. But high energy, high fun. Easily see why it's such a. Even if I only playing the remake, I can kind of see why it would be such a highly revered game. It could even be somewhat creepy at times. Usually not, but every once in a while. Like, I think it took me like 10 streams to finish this. For 2 or 3 at randomly near the start, I'd be so on edge. And I couldn't figure out why. There'd be a few jump scares too. It was like, oh, I walked through this door, enemy went like, bleh. But yeah, I had a great time with it. I'm really glad I got to finally experience Showdown. Great villain. Original voice actor came back to do her lines, which is really cool. Always love to see that. Even some new ones. I don't know if I'll ever get to platinum for this game because if you go through it on the hardest difficulty, which means you die once, you're dead. I think it's like, is it 10 hours to do the whole thing? Which you don't have to fly through a lot of it, but maybe someday. Also, puzzles are harder. But overall, I'm really glad I played it, even if it took for fucking ever. It's not the kind of game that ends, you know? Number 5. Rambo on the NES. It's another one with like the second entry on the system have a very negative, notoriously awful reception. Mainly because of probably because of the episode from the Angry Video Game Nerd, where he obviously does what he does, shout out over this game. And I think it was the game I played like right after finishing Planet of the Apes. It's my next Saturday one. No, once a week, because of course. Genuinely had no expectations to like this as much as I did. I was shocked as much myself as anyone else might be because, again, I even tried to find people who liked it. It's hard. Most people do not enjoy this game, and I can see why. If you went to this game, seeing the cover, you see Rambo with fucking guns, like you think, oh, you're going through killing people, doing what Rambo does. But then you start the game, and what is it? You have a knife, and you fight cool, unbelievable enemies such as a snake, a scorpion, a tiger. The tiger's an asshole, especially when you only have a knife. But for as you go on, you will get more weapons. You'll get throwing knives, your actual guns. I think it's just a general assault rifle kind of thing. You got grenades, bows, and I don't know what to say about why I like this so much. I just think it's a really fun game from the NES era. It's a fun, what you would expect, left to right, killing enemies. I mean, sometimes you have to go back to the left, and it does have some confusing map area modes. Like, I think one time the only way to actually progress was to go like forward to the right and then back to the left, and you end up in a different place. I think it was something like that. But I just had a ton of fun with it. I really don't even know fully what to say about why. The enemies were fun to kill, and even as you move on, you'll fight proper real people instead of just scorpions. Some of this game is really fun to get through. Some of it is tough as fuck. Like, you have no idea. If you haven't played it, it is a tough, tough, tough game. I think part of the fun is you do level up as you go on too. You kill an enemy, you get some experience, and the only difference is one, you get more health. Which if you time getting the more health, right? Because if you have 50 health max and it goes down to 2, and you level up, it goes up to 100, and your current health fully increases too. Because at the start of the game, you get like 5 health potions. I didn't know they were so limited. In fact, I think I used 3 of them by mistake because you switch weapons with select. So if you have like knife, throwing knife, assault rifle, and then it'll be the health potion. But if you lose all your ammo with the gun, it's just knife, throwing knife, health potion. Like, oh, quick, I want to get my assault rifle, quick. Select, select, select. Oh shit, I used my potion. And I think at the start I used them with full health too, so I didn't even know what they were, and I wasted them all. And I think you got like 80% of this game without getting any more health upgrades. But I just had a ton of fun getting from start to finish. No, not my mic. I really thought I'd have more to say about why. It's just a really addicting game. I can't really give it any huge complaints from my side. Again, it's like Santa Claus Saves the Earth. I can see why people wouldn't like this a lot easily. I'm not even hearing that much to defend it. I'm just saying I really enjoy it. Less than with Santa Claus Saves the Earth because that's just a piece of shit. I think this is actually generally a decent game. If you don't go in with the expectations of, I'm going to go in playing Contra, ton of fun, intense as hell. And it's just, that's it. It's the intensity. That constant feeling like, oh my god, I'm going to get my ass kicked. But then it is just fun getting through the enemies, figure out how to deal with each one, trying to get the perfect precision thing. Getting new weapons is a really fun thing. Just trying to get your resources as high as you can because you don't want to go back to stabbing. But yeah, I'm going to stop trying to ramble about trying to find ways to say about this because it really does. It's a very repetitive game. Not repetitive in a bad way, but it does just do the same thing over and over. You just go from left to right killing enemies, sometimes right to left. The last boss in this game, I guess skip the here if you don't want to spoil it for the last boss in Rambo on the fucking NES. It's a helicopter, and it is one of the most infuriating boss fights, one of the most infuriating final boss fights ever. It probably should be a surprise. I mean, look at it, it's Rambo. Nobody likes this crap. It's a helicopter, and it doesn't even do much. Bomb, 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 bomb. Constantly drop it. Oh, when I say constantly, if you haven't played it, you might think you know what I mean. No, 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 you don't. Look at this shit. Constantly. And then an enemy will come in from the left, come in from the right. You have to kill them, you get a grenade, throw a grenade. That's, I think it has like 40 health. Probably 20, but still. I can't even explain how many goals this took me. And like any shitty ending boss, like any shitty boss fight in general, you have to repeat the entire final level to get back to it. Thankfully, like, when you do get your foot to your final level, like when you finally stop getting health upgrades, I think it's like 800 health. You still do level up, but when you get to like the full level up, you go back up to full health. So if you plan it just right, like I would try to do, you get finally to the helicopter with one enemy left in front of you. Okay, we're about to get to the thing. Kill the enemy, full health, into battle. Basically, it just came down to pause, pause, pause. There's bomb, dodge, bomb, constant pausing. Awful boss fight. Everything else about this game, genuinely adored, loved. The boss fight sucks ass. Worst final boss fight maybe ever. Maybe, yeah. I guess it's memorable. If only by how much fucking pain it's going to cause you. I actually did watch another episode after watching this, and I will say it's going to come up again. Spoiler, I guess, with a certain other game here, but it just made it all the funnier because one, knowing the game just makes it add a bit. You think you nearly get defensive, like, oh no, I like this game. How dare you shit up? But no, it made it so much funnier. Especially because like, I agree with every negative comment you make about this game, but I still fucking love it. I can't even defend it. I really like it. And it's not only one of my favourite games of the year, probably one of my favourite NES games of all time. I would love to get a physical copy at some point, but we'll get to it. Number 4. Lost in Random. This is one of those things that I really wish I got to sooner in a lot of ways. I got this in 2021 when it came out, day one, I think. But it just happened. I played through the opening, stopped. I was like, yeah, I'll come back to this. I didn't. Until I decided to do it here for a Let's Play. Lost in Random is a story of a girl named Even who goes through an adventure to save her sister Odd, great names, in a hack and slashy Tim Burton like Nightmare Before Christmas-esque art style kind of looking game. As you make your way through like 6 kingdoms, 6 with beautifully varied characters, terrifying looking things, weird looking in the best way, in an effort to save her sister from the Queen, who when she turns 12, they roll a dice and that decides where they live between one town up to 6topia, one croft being the worst, 6th town being the best. And her whole life is decided by a dice roll on her 12th birthday. Even sister gets a 6, off to live with the Queen. And that's it. That's your goal for the entire game. You're supposed to get to 6th town, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all the way through all the towns, doing quests and side quests on the way. And that's the loop. But it's not just. It mightn't sound too inspired by what I just said. It might. I hope it did. But it's just in the presentation. That's where this game really, really shines. Even has genuinely become one of my favourite main characters of all time. Like, yeah, she's a fun character, she's entertaining, but she can also be a kid. She can be just an angry, tantrum throwing little shit sometimes. Just a fun little sarcastic little quips from her. A little sarcastic asshole sometimes, and just in the best possible way. Like I said, she can just be a kid in the most fun way. She has a companion named Dicey, which doesn't speak. He just goes beep beep beep, that kind of thing. Somehow he gets across a nice little personality out of him. They bond in a weirdly beautiful way. Like sometimes this game would actually get you a little bit choked up. Somehow the characters throughout the game are like they're so entertaining and fun, and just the cool designs. Side quests feel like main content. These might be the best side quests in games ever. It never felt like, oh, you're just doing some random crap for a character you don't care about, because one, everything is voice acted by fun characters, and it adds a ton to it. It just adds so much of the personality, fun, and entertainment, and just makes you feel like you're doing side quests that could be main content. It doesn't feel like, I need some sticks. Go kill 7 enemies and get some sticks. Because this is a game. The combat is really fun. I saw people saying, oh, it gets boring after an hour or two. I thought it was entertaining till the very fucking end. I mean, admittedly, the last boss was kind of boring, but in terms of combat, basically, very fun till right up to the end. Basically, you will start off with nothing except a slingshot. You'll shoot, hit the enemy in a crystal, because out of crystals, like, you'll have one or two on their body. Hit that, get some stuff that comes out of it. As you collect it, your meter will fill up and more cards will appear in your hand. Like, you can do it when you have one card in your hand or five. And I don't know if it's randomized or if it's kind of set in order. I never look into it too much, at least mechanically. But when you press triangle, at least on PS5 talking obviously, throw out your dice, you'll get a number, and if you get four and the cards in your hand are all two, you can play two of them. Basically, until you can play one, two, as many as you want, as long as you have the number high enough. Which will give you there's 34 cards, give you a huge variation of customization. Everything from weapons like swords, hammers, a lance, to abilities like if you dodge your opponent just the perfect time, you'll get through them and damage them, poison them, dicey exploding, which is a ton of fun. Risky as fuck, but it's like, oh, 9 seconds until you can have dicey move, because you press R1, he goes to a different place in the map. And if you get this right, crazy cool. Like, really entertaining and fun and really powerful. But sometimes you're like, oh, he got a gem. He's going to come right back to you with it. Fuck off. And I have died from it once. It was kind of funny. Very frustrating, but funny enough. There's some fun little side quests. Not side quests, like puzzle stuff. They're usually basic enough, but they're a fun little variation throughout. But like, that's where this game shines. It isn't the presentation. It's a game. Combat is fun, but it's not afraid to. You can be playing this game for a good half an hour, and you will not kill anything. No battles. It'll basically talking to people and exploring. That's what I do love. It doesn't feel the need to do. That's where I was going to this in the first place. I actually kind of forgot. Side quests are not afraid to deviate from the crappy norm of, whoa, I lost some wood. Go here and kill 9 enemies, get the wood. Oh, I need a monster killed. Kill a monster. Oh, I lost my child. Go find him for me, please. Oh, we found him. Oh, what boss fight. What a shock. You had to fight something. It's not afraid to make you go an hour or so in this game. No combat. But when you are doing combat, I think it's a ton of fun. Hectic, chaotic. It can be crazy. Sometimes it's fine, just like, oh, a few enemies, easy enough. But sometimes it'll push you. I guess big problem with the combat, enemy, boss fights, I already said it in general, but even the first one, I thought, oh, that's kind of cool, but most of the bosses do kind of suck. But overall, it just is the presentation, like I said, and the characters. That is what makes the game. Even just, what a character. Her interactions with some of the other characters, it's just what makes it. It has, like, it might not be number 4 in this list, but genuinely has become one of my most cherished games ever. I knew from trailer 1 it'd be something for me, but for some reason I just didn't play it. And I finally did, and I was hooked, and I cannot wait for the second one, because it's getting a sequel. I didn't know it like a week ago. Oh, I'm so happy. They're changing the combat a bit, and the perspective, which, it does kind of take a bit away, but I have hope. I'll try. And they have a new game coming out in general as well. I think it was shown off one of the Xbox showcases. Haven't looked into it yet. More excited now. Went back to get the platinum, which, unfortunately, this game doesn't have chapter select. So because they have a missable thing in the last town, I had to run through the entire game again, which does suck. But it was fun enough and quick enough when you're not doing side quests that I flew through. But yeah, beautiful, amazing game. I highly recommend to anybody. Genuinely, it's stuck with me, and it's not going to leave anytime soon. I really hope the second one can live up, because it deserves it. This unique little gem, it deserves not to be just turned into a basic hack and slash bullshit. Keep the charm, or don't bother.
You'll regret this. You'll all regret this. I'll get my dice. I'll get you.
The word you're looking for isn't dice, Your Majesty. It's die!
Number 3. Martian, Forest, Millen, and the Forest Gift. Speaking of games I've cherished that will stick with me, I think I started this like right near the end of 2023. I can count. But I generally played through it in 2024. And I also did here for Let's Play. I did like 34 parts, so it's a long one. What is it? Why ain't that the question? Don't quote me on this, I'm not fully sure, I tried to look into it. I think it originally came out in 3 parts, completely separate. Because it starts off as, like, almost, not point and click exactly, but the same kind of structure. Go talk to this person, get an item, that item will be used for this, which will then be used for this, and will eventually be used for this, and you'll solve a bunch of people's things, and that will help you move on to the next one. That is how the first act of the game works. That's how the first section, I'd say. Because after that, it just becomes a dungeon crawler. It's weird. In the absolute best way. It's funny. It'd be like if I don't know, Professor Layton after the first chapter suddenly became a first-person shooter. I know it's not quite that jarring, but you get the idea. That's the only combat you do in the first area of the game. It is the same as the second part, but there's no HP, there's no other abilities and stuff. And I thought, wow, please let there be no more combat in this game, because this is awful. But then you get to section 2, the dungeon crawler stuff. That's what will take up the majority of this game, and it's just dungeon crawling stuff. You'll walk around a kind of, I don't think it's fully randomized, but there can be different, like floor 4 can be different, and then floor 5 will be the same. It's weird. You get into basic turn-based battles. It's like square to attack, X to dodge, or you can block. It's like some attacks will be on block, so it's better to dodge. Sometimes you can't dodge, so you have to take a hit. Level up, get stronger, fight some bosses. Again, it's hard to really explain why this game really hit me the way it did. I just found it really charming. But the best thing is, you get to section 3, everything changes. Suddenly it's like, instead of every few steps taking away 1 of your hunger, because you know, dungeon crawler, you lose hunger, you lose so much of your hunger meter, you get hurt from it, that kind of thing. It's like, oh, down by 10 every step. And when you get hurt by it, you'll be taking like 10 times the damage. Section 3 of this game, the ante is up through the roof. It takes what has become, oh, I'm going to use this, fine, to, you stepped out of place? Die. Oh, there's this like big miasma vortex thing. You can walk through it. It's taking 50 health every turn. At the time you're lucky to have 1,000. Obviously, as you go on, you'll get stronger. You'll get more abilities to deal with it. The huge difficulty spike will go down. Like I said, it ups the ante to fucking 11. I loved it. And in this part, you have to team up with a new character called Rosetta. She's in part 2 as well, in the first dungeon crawler part, but she's just a merchant kind of thing for items, artifacts, stuff you find in the dungeons. No relevance to the story, really. I think she had a bit in the end. I can't remember exactly where she started and where things ended. But it really is, it's the fun design of the characters, the way that their interactions, there's not a huge story to it. It's not hugely detailed, but there's just enough to make you really like these characters. Millen was adorable. Like, I swear, at one point in this game, you read a diary entry from Rosetta, who at the time I didn't know who she was. I know I'd seen her, but I hadn't placed together, oh, this random merchant is the same character. I'm not kidding. In these 6 pages, it just hit in a weird way. It was Rosetta talking about how much he loved her master and stuff. Like and I think it was when he left. It was like a master alchemist. For some reason, it really hit deep. It genuinely made me just feel down, not down, but you know how it is. Just kind of bleak, depressed feeling a bit choked up, that kind of way. And then, when you do get to the third part of the story though, there's more stuff going on with her. It really makes you love these characters. Like with Lost in Random, some of these have genuinely become one of my most just beloved characters ever. Rosetta might be probably my favourite character of the last year. And what more can I say? You also do some side stuff on the way, optional stuff, like fun adventures with a pirate gang, some weird puzzle stuff where you have to open the right door. And it's charming as fuck. I think that's the best like 1-sentence review for this. Charming as fuck, man. I even bought the soundtrack for this on Steam. I bought like 3 things on Steam since I got it like 15 years ago. That's how you know something special has happened to you. If they ever release a physical version of this on like PS5, absolutely. Just to have it. It'd be like Eternights. I won't even open it. I'll probably just keep it in the plastic because I have it downloaded. And the worst thing is, I think this company either got like melded in to do other stuff or was shut down. We might never see another one of these. I hope we see something more like this from these the same developers, because this might be one of my most cherished games I've ever played. I know I said about Lost in Random 2. I might be able to say that about something that's on number 3. I'm gonna 1 and 2 are way more fun based. This, in terms of like full package, if you want to just include that, this could be number 1. Not even just games I played last year, or older games. Even if you include like the new games I played last year, this would easily be in the top 5. If we were talking about a whole package. The next 2 are more pure fun, but fuck me, man. This game, the amount of times I'd just be sitting and it was just the way the characters were. I'd get mad at them, I'd get fucking choked up with how they were. I'd laugh, and I'd just find things cute. And the battle system has way more like, at the start, it's just hit, dodge, block. As it goes on, you get like triangle where you can do either a bunch of different abilities with that, different weapons that do the things. Some crazy bosses. The final boss in like the second part, which is I'd say it contained enough story, but with enough left open for chapter 3 to do more stuff. The bosses at the end are fucking insane. The secret bosses do kind of suck. That's like super bosses they had to do for the platinum trophy, because of course they did. Because they're not even that hard. It just turns into a long ordeal. I think I was there for like 25 minutes, just dodge, attack, heal. But like I said, charming as all hell. One of the most charming games, just oozing charm from beginning to end. Fell in love, grabbed me hard. And I think I got this like really cheap. I got this for like €3 when it was on sale. I kind of wish I'd bought this new. Sometimes I just want to buy it again just because I want to show some support to it. If anyone's ever asking for JRPGs, dungeon crawlers, or something cute like that, first thing that comes into my head. Love recommending it to people. Nobody's played it yet, but it will always be the number 1 on my list when it comes to that. And in terms of, like, again, in the last ever, it's just a cherished game that really hit deep. Number 2. Predator on the NES. Oh, we haven't seen the last of Pack-In Studios. The same people who made Rambo. I think it was like a year later. Predator. Another game that is notoriously disliked. You think Rambo was hard to find people who liked? Oh no, this is... And again, like Rambo, what's on the cover? What is the first thing you see in game? You see Arnold ready with his fucking gun pointed at the screen. What happens when you go into the game? You have your fists. It almost felt intentional. Not even just in the case of like intentional as in, oh, we have to have something cool in the cover to get people to buy. No. It's like, let's do it again. Most people don't like this game. Most people really, really don't like it. It's another one AVGN did, and again, it's another one where I went back to watch after I'd finished it. It made it way funnier. It just made it fucking hilarious. 10 times more than usual. Because it's one of those another one things where it's like every complaint, every critique, every possible negative thing he would say, I would agree. I was through it, and that made it funnier. But what is Predator? I think it's 50 levels in the sense of just left to right. You start off every level with your fists, just a basic shitty punch, but along the way you will pick up weapons. Like in the first level right behind you, you jump up. Oh, I guess there's a machine gun up there. Fuck, you're supposed to know that. But it saves you some time, and it just shoots a pellet. I think there's like a machine gun, or some kind of machine gun assault rifle thing, grenades, a laser gun, and no, I think that's it. Wow, feels weird to say that. You just go from left to right, platforming, killing enemies, and like Rambo, you have great enemies like I don't know what that is, a dragon statue, amoeba. I think we should go back to the scorpions. I think they might have been better enemies. But that's basically it. Left to right, either punching or shooting, or in the unfortunate events we have to do with grenading enemies until you get to the end. Sometimes it's multiple level, like stages to a level, sometimes it's one. And one really cool thing this game does though, like I said with 50 levels, that's technically true but not really. Because every once in a while you come across like a split. There'll be a door up here, door down here. Like let's just say you do level 10. And it's like up here if you do like 10, you finish level 10. Up here, 11, 12, 13, then you go to like 18. But if you go to the bottom one, you do 14, 15, 16, 17 and get to 18. They'll both lead you to the same like next stage. They both lead you to 18. But this way has this bunch of levels, this way has this bunch. That's really cool. Just adding variety to an NES game, especially like, it is hard. It is a tough as shit game sometimes. Like in the first go of this, I think I got to level, I think I barely scratched level 2 in my first like 40 minutes. Sometimes I would genuinely turn this on for an hour and I get one level done. But it's not just hard. They add variety and replay value by having different ways to go. Is this the first game to have branching paths? But more than that, every once in a while you'll fight a predator because this oh yeah, this game doesn't have a proper checkpoint system like most games. In fact, I'm not sure. I'm confident if you just turn the game off and back on, I'm sure it would not save your checkpoint. I don't think could they even do that back then. I'm really not sure because when you start up this game, you will have start, continue, start starts the game over, including the opening cutscene. Continue continues from last checkpoint, which you get after you beat a predator fight, which is every 4 or 5 levels usually. He's great. He sits here, you shoot him, he goes. Now he goes twirl, 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 twirl down. Then you shoot him again. That's basically the loop you're going to get to. If you take some time to shoot him, he's going to jump over to you, and you're just going to try to hit him again. But when you do that, you'll go into, not only get a checkpoint, but you'll go into the ever-inspired name of Big Mode. I love it. It's so fucking on the nose, lazy, uninspired. That just loops around to being fucking hilarious. Big Mode is just a side-scrolling, the camera keeps, like the stage scrolls to the left under you. You can't stop. And like I said, Arnold is just here. He's big. Like in normal levels he's like down here. In these levels he's this fucking big. And you just go, it's more Contra-ish. Not as good, but at the end of these levels, you'll fight a big predator, which every level he'll have like a different gimmick. Sometimes he'll do the twirly thing where he'd get to the left of the screen and drop on you and stuff. Sometimes he'll just be 4 heads, or shoot 4 heads of things at you. All 6, I think there was of them, have a little gimmick like that. I think for most people, or at least some people, maybe, I don't know, these were the best parts of the game, but fuck, I hated them. They were fun to do once, but remember when I said you get a checkpoint after you beat the small predator? Every time you want to start over, you have to do big mode. Oh, you did 2 levels and then you died and lost all your lives. Well, back to big mode. Also, it's really funny. Thankfully, it never affected me. Thank fuck. But every time it brings, like I remember I said, you press new game, you start from the beginning, continue from the last checkpoint. Well, because of course it does, when you start the game, it starts on new game. It goes to start. You have to press select, then click continue, or you're starting over. It's crazy. Like, think about it on an NES controller too. This is a PS5 controller. This is how far away the buttons are. We're starting select. On the NES, they're like here. And they look exactly the same. Except one has a start above it. So I wonder how many people in the world got so, like, 15 levels in. It's like, no. No. It'd be so easy to do. Because you will die in this game. A lot. Like I said, I would spend like an hour sometimes getting to one section of the game. The first level, I can't remember. The first section, I'm pretty sure I did the first 2 levels. And just a bit of the third one. That was like 45 minutes. But of course, as you die, you'll do them faster and better every time, getting less death, less hits. But some of these later levels get insane. The final 4 levels or so of this game, no idea. You have no idea what I've been through. Especially the final level and the boss. Like, with the final level, there's this one heedless bounce back and forth. Cause you could get to there's like 3 sections. Top section, mostly would go fine. Then you'd be down here running left, and oh, there's a head bouncing shooting at you. I just had to take the hit. But oh, this was the one enemy in the game who, if you touch him physically, he'd do like 4 damage. I think he had 10 health. So I can't wait to wait for him to shoot me, because that would only do 1 damage, and jump past him as quick as I could. I think I was here for like 2 hours, 3 hours. Painful. I won't even mention what the final boss was. I'll let you go into that if you want. Hey, if only somebody had played it recently, and you can check it out there. It wasn't as bad as Rambo, in terms of just like the boss wasn't as bad as Rambo, but getting to it, well, I actually don't know. I think with Rambo, you felt like you could do more consistent. And funny enough, like Rambo, it came down to me pause, 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 pause. Okay, shoot. Let's just say he shoots a lot of things at you. I think it's like 20 hits, and then it goes to phase 2, 20 more hits. Even with Rambo, I felt like, okay, I know I can do this. With this, certainly it gone down a bit. But there's one thing I do have to give this game more than anything else. Except for like I think one time where I was really pretty tired. I gone to bed and I was like, wait, shit, I forgot to do the episode. And I had gotten out of bed to do it. And I had work the next day. So I was there trying to get this done, and I kept dying. I was like, I don't want to stop before doing any progress. So I was there like 2 in the fucking morning, trying to finish this shit off. And the amount of times I would die from the stupidest thing, that is the closest I ever came to anything with this game where I did not have a big fucking smile on my face the whole time. This was one of the most fun games of the year. When I said Rambo would definitely probably be on my top 10 NES games if I do one, this is going to be on the top 5 if I ever do one. Someday. I need to play more games before I decide anything like that. I had my eye on this game for a while, and I don't even know why. I think it was around the time I played Planet of the Apes. I was like, someday I'd like to do Predator, but based on what I'd heard about this game and seen, I was afraid it was going to be one of those really cryptic, shitty NES games. I didn't want to get into a game, get 20 minutes in, like, I'm stuck. That's what do I do now? Do I look it up? And that kind of takes the fun out of it for an old game like this. But I also can't be just wandering around for 2 hours, and that scared me. When I beat Planet of the Apes, I went to Rambo. When I beat Rambo, all bets were off. I'll play anything now. Pretty much nothing is off limits in terms of this stuff. Packing games, they made both of these things, and you can tell. And I love both of them. I'll definitely be playing more games by these guys in the future. Die Hard is on the list. Who knew? I did not expect to like this nearly as much as I did, but genuinely, one of the most fun, pure fun of the year, maybe in a long time. I said already this was a very retro inspired year. This made it worth it in every way. What a game. I don't know how many people are going to agree with me on that, but there's a reason, again, in terms of pure fun, possibly number 2 in general last year. Not just for this one, including everything I played. That should say something. Whether it be how good the game was for me, how bad my taste is, or how bad last year was, you can come to your own conclusion on that one. Number 1. And the absolute not only probably I think it's safe to one of the best games, the best game for this year in terms of retro and like not new stuff. Vampire Survivors. Holy fuck! This game took the world by storm when it came out in 2022, and it did the same to me when I played it. It's kind of a mix between like roguelike stuff, not the one, yeah, roguelike, that's the one I meant. We'll go in, die, get some stuff, upgrade, go again, that kind of shit. But with a mix of idle style clicker games in there too. Not really the clicker aspect, more the idle style of it. But this game took the world by storm when it came out in 2022, and it hit me just as good. I knew when I saw the concept of this, I knew it'd be something I was into. Like I said, idle style games, you'd have to just get stuff and then level that up and get stronger from that. Up my alley completely. I knew instantly this was for me. But I don't really play games on PC, or I know I have an Xbox. And eventually it came to PS5. I took a few days to get it because I think part of me was afraid in case it didn't hold up. And I felt like I needed it to. But like 3 days in, I went for it, played it for like 4 or 5 hours, had fun, and thought, you know what? It's fun and all, but I think the novelty is wearing off. I probably won't play much more of this. Maybe go for a few trophies, but we will see. So yeah, at the end of that month, I had like 50 hours into the game. And eventually it went up to like 275, I think, by this point. Basically, you'll start off the game, you'll have a whip. Whip, whip. It'll hit like that, it'll just hit here, hit here. No, it's like just in front of you, it'll just hit in front of you every like 3 seconds. Then you kill some enemies. They drop resources, they drop like orbs to level you up. You'll get those orbs. Then you can upgrade your whip, or you'll get a new weapon, such as a fireball that launches out in front of you, a knife that will just launch off. And as you get more and more weapons, an axe that can shoot above you. And then you just keep expanding. You have crazy things I love, like garlic, which is a radius around you, which will constantly damage enemies if they go into it. Something will just destroy every enemy on the screen, like every minute or so. Then there's like different power-ups will do things like upgrade your attack, a magnet to get something further away, extra health over time. Then you will die. The money you get from stuff in that, you can use to upgrade stuff in the main menu, which will start you off with a revive, permanent extra speed, all that kind of stuff as well. And that's basically the loop. You'll fight some bosses, you get weapons in chests, get crazier abilities, combine, because like you have 6 weapon stuff and then 6 ability things, like power up things. You get the health increase thing and the garlic. You get a dark aura of garlic is constant and heals you. Get the knives and something else. You get a literally constant barrage of knives out in front of you that never stops. It gets insane. You can pick up items as well, which can do anything from destroy everything on screen, take everything around that you've destroyed and left behind. You really can't get everything. You're going to be moving away from enemies constantly. That will just get everything into you, probably leveling you up a few times. You got a breath of fire, which is just a huge blast of fire out in front of you for like 10 seconds, which most things won't get past. But that is the basic loop. And it is a loop that kept me obsessed and addicted. Like, I would play this game like sometimes a few hours a day, which sounds crazy to do when you're doing the same thing over and over, just in different levels sometimes, which have different enemies, I guess. You'll end up fighting some bosses, some smaller ones, then like Reapers will appear who are super strong, do crazy things as well. One which, if you get to like the 30-minute mark, just insta death. You will find ways to deal with that as it goes on. You get more, and like as you go on more levels, more items, do some like the achievement stuff, which basically just keeps track of all the achievement stuff. But as you then you get more stuff, and you get more powerful and more powerful. Your enemies will too, and it becomes unbelievable. Like at the start, you're like, "Wow, I have a garlic that does." Because like I said, you can upgrade every weapon too. So you'll have the garlic like this big, while you'll be like this big here, and you have a thing like this big around you, and you feel untouchable. But then, oh, it's been 5 minutes, enemies getting stronger, and then you get like 25 minutes into the level, and you'll be fine. And then something will kill you. You're like, wow, that was easy. We did a great job. But then you go to the next level, and you're like 4 minutes in, and you're dead. Is it the deepest game in the world in terms of anything else outside of gameplay? God, no. This is pure gameplay. You are thrown in. The game will give you little tutorials and stuff. It'll tell you what things do, but once. You have to learn, like, if you miss anything, that's it. But it just throws you in, basically. But it definitely became one of the most addicting, fun games ever. I said Predator might be in my top 10, like, NES games. This has become probably, like, a good contender for one of my top 10 games ever. It is phenomenal. Keep in mind, this came on PS4 back in the end of September. And I had like 200 something hours in it by whenever I did a Trophy Chronicles on it, just talking about getting the platinum. And all the DLC, because, oh yeah, this game comes with like 21 DLC packs. I'm pretty sure most of them are just stuff that came with the game. Like I said, it came out in 2022, so probably all stuff that came from then to now. 3 of those are paid DLC. I think maybe 4. And I think the most expensive one is like €2. Because, again, while I was looking at this thing, I came to a weird conclusion. Because there are 2 games I think this year that have really changed how I'm going to purchase things in the future. One was Avatar: Frontiers of Pandora because it was so bad. It changed how I purchase things. That's what changed 2024 for me, I think. Like, wow, if that's going to cost me 70, like, I bought No Man's Sky Day 1 for 80. I got the deluxe edition. I showed up with a fucking chunk taken out of the corner of the box. I played it for like 3 or 4 days and never touched it since. I don't regret it. I never felt too ashamed of buying that. Avatar: Frontiers of Pandora, worst purchase ever. Neither here nor there. The second game, for good reasons, Vampire Survivors. On the store, I thought this was 25 for some reason, because I got free on PlayStation Plus, I'm pretty sure. But no. It wasn't even 25, it was 5. 5 fucking euro. For not only some of the best hours I've put into a game, the most fun, 200 and something of them. of pure fun. And what, you want me to spend like €100 pre-ordering some churned out, repetitive, half the same, unfinished season pass bullshit for other games when I got this for 5? I'm not kidding here. I felt guilty. I almost felt a bit of guilt. Like, how dare I? Who the fuck do I think I am to be getting this for €5? I didn't even pay that. If I did pay, it would have been 5. It was free on PlayStation Plus. How can I justify buying anything ever again? Like in 2020, for years, because I don't do a lot of other things that cost much money. Like gaming is the only thing that is an expensive hobby of mine. So I had no problem really just going, yeah, there's a new game coming out for 70 this month. Yeah, well, I'll get it. Why not? It's not even something I cared that much about. Like, yeah, I'll get Armored Core. Armored Core 6. Sure. Played for a day. Never went back. Do I regret it as much as Avatar? No, not near that. But that's the kind of person I was back then. But between this and that and Avatar, it's a lot harder to justify spending 70 on a new game anymore. Because I know the odds is going to give me even half of what this did for 5. Tiny. If I add in the DLC, there was like, I think €8 total. Because 4 of the 21 of them cost money. They could have charged 25 for this. And I still would have felt like, oh, too cheap. I've never felt undercharged for a game in my life. Until now. There was no doubt in my mind from the beginning. When I knew I was making this list, I knew from the beginning. Number 1. Nothing on this list can come close in terms of pure, unfiltered joy. Unfiltered fun. And sometimes that is the best thing you need. There are games here that tugged at my heartstrings. There are things here that made me feel I just cherish in different ways. But this, pure, addicting, arcadey, old school fun. I can't wait to play more games like this. I think, was it Hollow Cure is one a lot of people have been playing lately. I think that's the same kind of thing. Don't quote me on that if I'm wrong, but definitely going to be looking into more of these. I wanted to take a break because I'm not ready to, even though I really want to, I'm not ready to throw myself into that right now. But maybe it's the time. And at the end, I won't spoil anything, but there's a music track that plays on this at the end that is one of the most cosmically beautiful things I've ever seen. I was in awe. The sound of her was like, headphones, in, now. It was awe-inspiring. Like I said, cosmic. And I'm not even sure what I mean by that. It just hit in a way that nothing else, music-wise, maybe nothing else ever has. But yeah, that is all the games I played in this very retro-inspired year. Well, this is my the top 10 things I played from last year that were not from last year. Top 10 older stuff. I want to come up with a better title for this. I can't think of one. Top 10 old games has such an awful ring to it. But so does top 10 games that came out last year. They're not quite come out last year, but I played it for the first time. Yeah, that's what I'll do. But yeah, I like to have them separate because, you know, it makes things easier for me. Because if I had to get 20 games together, if I had to get 10 games together out of last year's stuff that I played for, like, from before and new stuff, I think I'd have a breakdown. Removing some of these games in general was hard, but oh, if I had to mix them, ooh. I'm not a deciding man. But anyway, if you played any like older stuff last year, feel free to let me know what you played. There's my I did top 10 for 2024 new games too, and if I want the stuff coming next year. This year overall, I was actually more excited to do this one than the new games. There was some cool stuff in the new games as well, but it really was a year for older games for me. In terms of just time spent, yeah, probably newer games, because, you know, online games, trophies, 100% completion, longer in general. Quantity-wise, easily more retro games. Hoping this year will be different, though, because I want to play some new stuff as well. But yeah, again, let me know what older stuff you played. What stuff from last year did you play that you went back to for the first time that you missed out on? Feel free to check out the other ones. Feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. Apparently it helps. And that's the end of the top 10 stuff for this part of the year. Thank God. I love doing them, but wow. When things get busy and you can't do much time for them, they come out late. I'll definitely be more prepared for the end of this year. Hopefully. Thank you very much for watching any of these over here. I'll consider this like the last official 2024 video. Hopefully next year is great too for new stuff and for stuff I go back to. It's already having a decent beginning for that in both ways. I'm excited for both. Thank you again for watching and see you for the next one. See you then and happy 2025.